Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making a pistachio pound cake, and I'm going to do a cream cheese pistachio glaze. I think that sounds pretty good. Now we're going to start, of course, using our Swans Down cake flour. You guys, I'm using 3 cups of Swans Down cake flour. Now, Swans Down comes pre-sifted for you already in the box. So when you bring it home from the grocery store, it's already pre-sifted. Now, I usually pre-sift one more time, but guess what, y'all? Today, for those of you who feel like, Miss Donna, I'm not going to be doing all that sifting. If it's already sifted, that's good enough. I'm not doing it. Or for those of you who may feel like, or who may say, I don't have no sifter, and so I just can't bake the cake. Listen, we're getting rid of all excuses. And I'm just curious because I always sifted. So I just want to see, it's an experiment today, if I can tell a difference in the texture if I do not sift again. Okay, now to the 3 cups of Swans Down, I've already added my ½ teaspoon of baking powder, and I've also added a box and a half of this Jello pudding. I'm going to be using this pistachio pudding, and I have 2 of the small 3.4 ounce boxes, but I'm only going to put a box and a half in the cake. I want to save the other half of the other box to use in my glaze. Okay, so what I've done is I have my 3 cups of flour here. That's why my little whisk is sitting in it. Can you guys see that pistachio Jello pudding right there sitting on the top? So that's in here. My baking powder's in here, you guys. I'm just using my little whisk, and we're just gonna, don't be throwing stuff on the floor. You're gonna need all of your flour. See there? Listen. You can tell I'm not used to doing this, just throwing flour. But anywho, I'm just gonna whisk it in like that. Y'all, that's it. I'm not sifting today, okay? Now, we also need 3 cups of sugar. And then I have my 1 cup of milk, and it's you can use whole milk, you guys. I use 2% milk because that's what we use around here. I don't purchase whole milk, but you can use whole milk, and this here is 2% milk. Okay, so we have 1 cup of this. It is room temperature, and then I'm using my 3 sticks of unsalted butter. It is also room temperature. Then we have 5 large eggs here. I've already cracked them. One looks like it's done ran, but it is 5 in here. They are large eggs, and they too are room temperature. Now, I'm also going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but I'm going to incorporate my salt with my butter and my extracts. So my extracts I'm using today, you guys, I'm going to use some of my Watkins clear vanilla because I don't really want that batter to get, you know, it kind of tints your batter when you use the regular vanilla with the brown that has that little brown tint. So I really want to keep that batter as bright as possible. So I'm going to use my white vanilla, but I'm also going to add a little bit of pure almond extract, and I'm adding extract in hopes to kind of bring out the flavor a little bit in the pistachio, since I'm not using the pistachio nuts. Now you can use those. You can add the pistachios to your pound cake. If I were doing that, I would probably have about 3/4 of a cup, and then maybe use 1/4 of that in. So how about I would use like a ½ cup in the cake mixture, and then maybe use about a 1/4 of a cup on top of my cake with the glaze at the end. But we're not using pistachios today, but feel free to do so. But that almond is going to help bring out that pistachio flavor, okay? Now, this pudding should give it just a little hint of green, and it's probably not going to give me as much green as I want. I want just, you know, to be able to notice that there is green. So I have this is the green gel food coloring. And before I forget, I'm just getting ready to put 1 drop in this milk, and that's already done. That was 1 drop. Okay, if by chance that's still not enough, I'll add another drop while we're mixing up the cake. Okay, but I just did not want to forget. And of course, I'm also going to use, you guys, I love cream bouquet. I'm going to use just a little bit of my cream bouquet. What does it taste like, Miss Donna? I've never heard of it. I call it bakery in a bottle. I absolutely love it. There are some people who don't care for it, but hey, we will celebrate our differences. Whatever you like. But I really love this. I use it in a lot of the majority of my cakes, maybe it's kind of safe to say. So I'm using that today. And I think I've gone over everything. If by chance I've forgotten something, all the ingredients will be in the description box below. But I think we're ready to get this cake mixed up. Of course, I've thoroughly washed my hands. Don't be in the kitchen with nasty hands, because that's just nasty. Yes, I keep saying it because some of y'all still going in the kitchen with your nasty hands. And I'm going to keep on saying it. Maybe one day it's going to sink in. It's just nasty. And it's unacceptable. I'm starting by adding my 3 sticks of softened butter to my mixing bowl. And to that, I'm adding my 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay. Then I'm going to go on and add my extracts. My vanilla, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vanilla. You guys, I'm not stingy by any means of the word with my extracts. So I'm using about a tablespoon of the almond. I'm going to use maybe about a teaspoon of almond. Teaspoon of almond. And then I'm going to use about a half a teaspoon of my, and you guys, it's just a habit. I just shake it up. It's just a habit. Cream bouquet, I'm going to use about half teaspoon of cream bouquet. All right. So what I'm going to do is mix this just a few. The butter by itself, I'm going to mix it about a minute or so by itself. And then I'll slowly start adding my sugar. Okay, I'm going to cream this butter and sugar for at least about 10 to 12 minutes. Now this mixer, I'm going to have to stop a couple of times and scrape down my bowl. You guys make sure you do that, because what you will notice, if you don't have a scraper in your mixer that scrapes for you, then what's going to happen is the sugar and butter is going to collect on the sides of your bowl. That means it's not getting creamed if it's up here on the side of your bowl. Okay, so stop your mixer a couple of times, scrape down your bowl, and then carry on. So I'll do that at least twice. Once we cream, you'll notice that the texture will change. It's going to look light and fluffy, and the yellow color is going to get like a pale yellow look. So I'm going to stop it and let you see what light and fluffy looks like. You can't rush this part of the process. You can't. Okay, you're going to have to take your time. I set a timer and I walk away and I start doing something else. All right, but remember to scrape down your bowl. Okay. Now this is what I mean when I say light and fluffy. You see how that texture has changed and it has that very light, pale look. That's what we want exactly. Okay? So like I say, just be patient when you do that part, because otherwise, you know, your cake can be dense and tough and it can fall and just be a disaster, and that's not what we want. Now we're going to start adding our eggs. Now I'm going to add my eggs one at a time. When I add my eggs, I add them slowly, and I mix just a few seconds until that yellow yolk disappears. Okay? If by chance, like this egg right here that looks a little suspect, and when I say suspect, it's because, you know, the yolk is broken. If two fall in when I'm adding, then I'll mix a few seconds longer because I know I'm incorporating 2 eggs as opposed to 1. All right, so you're going to see me you'll see me add that first leg, not your leg, lady. We're not adding no legs to the batter. You'll see me add that first egg, maybe the second one, but then you'll probably just see me add the last egg. But remember, I've added 5. Now once we get the eggs added, now remember, I'm going to turn this mixer down to probably about 5 or 6, okay? Once we get the eggs added, then it's time to start adding our dry and wet ingredients, and I'm going to alternate between the two. You start with flour, you end with flour. Now this is the part where I'm going to turn my mixer down to maybe about 3, okay? You do not want to overmix right here, because if you do, your cake can fall. Sometimes you'll notice like a gumminess in your cake. Don't overmix, okay? This part here does not take nearly as long as it did to cream the butter and sugar. It literally only takes, you know, just a couple of minutes for me. All right? So once we do that, I think we're going to be ready to get this cake baked. So remember, we're going to add the eggs, and then we're alternating back and forth with this flour and milk. Now you'll see me add a little bit of flour, and then that will give you an idea of how long I wait before I add my milk, okay? So you'll see me do that first, back and forth. And then you'll probably just see me end with the last little bit of flour. I'm not going to bore you with that whole process of going back and forth, okay? This is a pretty batter. That's a pretty green. And you guys, I'm just going to stir a little bit more to make sure everything is well incorporated. You guys, I see pistachios. I mean, I know I'm supposed to, but still. Look, I see the pistachios. See them right there. See them right there. That's pretty. And that little drop of green that I did was just enough. I did not need any more. Okay. I have thoroughly sprayed my cake pan with Baker's Joy. Making sure you guys can see, or do I need to sit it on top of? That's better. You know what? This might be a, take this off of here. This might be a little pourable. Ugh. But there was a view. Oh yeah, we can pour a little bit today. You guys, I didn't realize that there were actual pistachios in that pudding mix. I just thought it was the pistachio flavor. I didn't realize that there were pistachios in it. So that's gonna be nice to see some pistachios in the cake. Alright, you guys, now I'm just trying to get my batter smooth or level. Not necessarily smooth, but level, somewhat smooth. You don't want a lot of big lumps and humps in your batter. Save me a little bit to eat. When I shake it like this, it kind of helps it level out too. Then we hit it under the bottom to release the air bubbles. Okay? Our oven has been preheated to 325 degrees. Somebody has moved my rack, so let me fix that. I bet that was that dude number one of mine, aka my husband. Dude number one. When I bake my cakes, you guys, I bake them in the middle of my oven. So I just adjust my racks, or a rack, to where it's in the very middle of the oven, okay? This will probably bake about an hour and 15 minutes, I expect, but I'm going to check at about an hour and 10, especially when I start smelling it. The cake is still baking, but I'm going to show you how really quickly and easy it is to make a glaze. Now I'm going to use about 1 ounce of cream cheese. And I usually like to kind of smush it up a little bit in the beginning to make sure it's soft enough, okay? This is the other half of the bag of pistachio Jello pudding. Okay, so we're just going to add all of that. And to that, I'm going to add just a drop of almond, just a little bit, maybe about ½ teaspoon. And then I'm going to do just a little drop of my cream bouquet. You can use whatever extracts or flavor that you want, okay? Now I'm just going to pour in some powdered sugar. I usually do not measure. So this is probably going to be at least about 1.5 to 2 cups of powdered sugar. If you happen to be new to our YouTube family, welcome. You will soon learn that I do not like icing in cakes. I am a glaze girl. I normally like a thick glaze, okay? So we're adding just a little bit of milk to this, and you always want to add it slowly, because once you get it in, you cannot take it out. And if you've added too much, then that means you're going to have to add a little more powdered sugar. Let me get this off this counter because that cake is in the oven. If you add too much and it's too loose, then that means you're going to have to add some powdered sugar to thicken it up, okay? And I usually like it really thick in the beginning, because that way I can get it smooth. I never use a mixer. I always do this by hand, and it serves as a great arm work. Alright, okay? And you guys, just that quick, we have glaze. I can always add more milk to thin it out. Oh, I almost made a mess. Okay. We're good. Nothing went on the floor. I can always add more glaze to thicken it up a little more, or a little more milk to thin it out. Okay, so we're just gonna sit that here and wait on the cake to come out. Y'all know, don't be doing all that bumping around while the cake is in the oven. Okay, we have baked an hour and 10 minutes. So now we're gonna sit here and cool for at least 10. It's been 10 minutes. We are flipping. That's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So as usual, I want it to cool a little bit more before I add my glaze. And you guys, I ended up adding a little bit more powdered sugar to that glaze and the milk. I probably could have added just a little bit less pistachio pudding. It's kind of sweet, so if you don't want it as sweet, don't add that much. And I wanted to mention this now, just in case I forgot later. But once I added more powdered sugar and milk, you know, it helped. It definitely helped it not be as sweet. And then I could kind of taste the little, I could like barely taste the little grittiness of the Jell-O pudding. So again, maybe not add that much, but even with that, adding more powdered sugar and milk definitely helped that. And I think once it hits this warm cake in a few minutes, that's going to kind of help as well. Alright, we are glazing. Pistachio pound cake with a cream cheese pistachio glaze. And the extra glaze is down in the hole. It is time.
This new technology from height. Oh, that's pretty. Green. What kind is it?
I'm gonna let you guess.
I'm a guess, man.
You ain't gonna guess.
I'm a good guesser. I'm such a good.
You ain't gonna guess.
I guess you're gonna need to give me a bigger piece. Oh,
You
that's
ain't gonna guess.
that's lime, sherbet. I can tell.
You ain't gonna get it.
I need to get me a fork. I need to get me a fork.
Now look at the pistachios in it.
Pistachios?
See the pistachios?
Some nuts.
Oh, I done told you. Oh my goodness.
You talk too much.
Listen.
People.
Fly over a little bit. Now you know I'm gonna get the corner right. Let me get the thumbnail. Move over back. Why you have to look like something's wrong with you? Listen, honey, come on back in the picture. You so crazy. What it taste like? I don't need you to try to act like you done cut that for me. You already know what I'm going for.
I'm gonna just keep doing better.
You go.
I gotta keep doing better, baby. Because if I don't do better.
And you guys, the glaze. Let me see. Let me see. With the
This is.
it almost reminds me of, you know how I do the sprinkle the sugar in the pan before I put the batter in? That's because it has a little bit of the, it's almost like you can taste the sugar crystals in the glaze.
I taste the nuts.
Do you? I see you making faces. That's good. I don't care about you. Look, you're so stingy. He takes the whole cake to work with him. Why does he have to act like that? That's not nice, honey. Don't make no sense. Nobody being that stingy.
I might take this one tomorrow.
Oh, you taking it?
Why?
It's getting up out of here.
But the kids will take care of it.
No. No, it's getting out of here. It's getting out of here. It's got to go. You like it, babe?
I thought you wanted some.
Listen, look.
Sorry, baby.
Okay, y'all. He being stingy. Well, you guys, I hope you all enjoyed this. Y'all always have me experimenting with you all.
What is this?
Oh, it's a pistachio pound cake. Pistachio. Who would have thought?
This is good.
It's good. That's all right. Your co-worker's gonna enjoy it tomorrow too.
I don't like them.
Well, it don't matter. Act like you like them. Take them all some cake tomorrow. TOMORROW. What's the matter with you?
I'm getting it all.
And on that note, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've not subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you do, once you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we're over here doing whatever it is we're doing. And when you hit the notification bell, it shakes, and that's that shake something, shake something, shake something.
Hit the nosy!
This is dude number 1, aka my husband.
This is.
With his all his loudness.
I'm not loud. Now I learned to train my voice.
I thought I heard something. I said, did the bird run into the cake? But no, that was
He ran into the post. He was trying to look at the cake. He wanted something. Nope, he won't get none either.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We already look forward to you joining us again
Next time!